What's up, guys? Justin here with another poorly reviewed beer. Fresh from the Highland Brewing Company in Nashville, North Carolina. This is their Mosaic Rye IPL. Before we go any further, just one note about these video reviews. Going forward, I'm going to be trying to provide some additional information about the beers before we go into tasting. This will include items such as ABV, or alcohol by volume, and IBUs, which are international bitterness units, as well as highlights from the brewer's notes that are provided with the beers. Just a couple of real quick definitions. ABV, alcohol by volume, is pretty simple, just the amount of alcohol makeup in the beer itself. International bitterness units is essentially the amount of bittering ingredients used in the beer recipe. Typically the higher number, in both cases the higher number means a more potent either alcohol level or bitterness level, though in the case of IBUs is not necessarily a one-to-one correlation based on everything else going on with the beer. A beer with 60 IBUs may end up tasting more bitter than a beer with 70 IBUs. Getting into the beer itself, this IPL is part of Highland's Warrior series, and that series is inspired by Scottish Highlanders, and their goal is big, bold flavors, balanced flavors, and they're often high gravity, which means a high alcohol by volume, such as the 8% that this India Pale Lager is. Getting into the beer itself, it uses Mosaic hops and Australian Ella hops, as well as locally sourced rye from Riverbend Malt in Asheville, North Carolina. Now let's check out the beer. See the color nice and clear, and a nice orangish color. And getting into the first sip. Very complex, a whole lot going on. Pardon me. Starting out, it's kind of a sweet candy-like flavor that very quickly goes into a lot of different hop flavorings. Massive citrus, a lot of orange, maybe a little bit of grapefruit as well. Whole lot of pepper and other spice notes as well, maybe a little bit of pine too. Yeah, the citrus is very much in the front. Pine and a little bit of malt and crackery notes. That's more the lagery side compared to the hoppy front of this beer that comes from the India Pale portion, if you will, and the Mosaic hops and the rye. It's mildly bitter, but to me it's kind of more crackery than necessarily hop bitter. Maybe as it's starting to warm up now, the hops are starting to open up and get a little more bitter. Of course, as I've been making this video, this has been sitting for a little bit. And it is, I think, starting to get a little bit more bitter overall as time goes on. But just a whole lot going on. That sweetness even kind of lingers all the way through the entire sip of the beer. And just a really, really great complexity in this IPL. So that'll do it for the IPL. You can find all of our reviews, both video and written, at poorlyreviewedbeer.com. You can also check out PRB on Facebook and Twitter. All those links will be in the description below. In addition, in the description below, we will have a link to the brand new PRB beer glossary. Just very recently started and not much to it yet, but it has some more in-depth discussion of ABV and IBU that we talked about earlier in this video. So you can check that out. There's also a link for that in the description below. That's it for this edition of Poorly Reviewed Beer. See you next time.